I look forward to one of those children robbing me one day. All right, let's get started. Let's try something different.
Let's try it out.
I got a couple categories. Matt's going to give me one-word answers.
One-word answers?
Yeah,
okay,
quick.
okay.
I got 10 of them, dude.
Shit, okay.
And the music starts in like 40 seconds.
I feel like, okay.
All right, one word. Matt, well, thank you for coming, by the way.
Okay.
Continent.
Asia.
Bitcoin.
Future.
Large.
In charge. I know that's true. That's true.
No, it works. Media.
Landscape.
Okay. Game.
Over.
Do you feel like the way I say it, does that affect what you're going to say?
I don't know, I guess. Partly it's got to, right? In some fashion.
Rock.
Do you smell what he's cooking?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than.
We had to get a WWE or WWF reference in nice and early.
Couldn't do it.
Earth Day. It is Earth Day. Welcome, Matt, for Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
As a thunderous electric bird screeches overhead in proximate location to O'Hare.
Coughing poison into the atmosphere.
Are those kids playing soccer? Did we get some fans?
Yeah, they did. They waved. They saw cameras. They're like, what are these guys doing? Let's wave, you know? They were young enough. They're impressionable. They love, they're a YouTube generation.
Plus, you're just waiting for when they kick one of those balls over here so I can
just smash the camera.
We got 5 more.
Okay, let's go.
So let's just finish, actually 4 more. So we're in the bottom half here.
Okay.
Atrocious.
Kardashian.
Perfect. Kardashian.
No, yeah, I couldn't do it.
Come on, perfect.
Perfect dark is what came to mind.
Good.
That's a game.
Good. That's good. On 64, we got some N64 fans out there. Testosterone.
Lacking.
And finally, thank you for playing along, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
Fraud.
Ponzi scheme. Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff.
That's
Rest
what I thought
in
of.
peace. This podcast dedicated to Bernie Madoff.
Bernie, man, giving us some shit to talk about.
What a worse way to start off Earth Day. But happy Earth Day, man.
Happy Earth Day by one of the most horrible people on the planet.
Yeah. Kind of pretty beautiful.
It is. It's a very nice day. I thought it'd be colder. It's not so cold. It feels great.
Yeah.
I'm breathing this fresh air. No mask.
Mm-hmm. We're getting closer and closer. I'm going to shoot these like where we get like inches closer every single time until we're vaccinated and we can just be like sitting in the same chair.
And then there'll be the one where we actually go over each other. It's just weird. The whole thing's out of just texturally on it.
I mean, once we pump out like a couple thousand of these things, we should start getting avant-garde.
You know what? It's so funny you mentioned that because on the way over here, I was thinking we got to take this shit on the road. I would love if we did like a dash cam episode. I was thinking driving through the city. I love driving through the city in the summertime. You know what I mean? I just love it. And I could imagine just 2 dash cams on us, just driving through the city for a couple hours, just chatting away, I do have GoPros, so I think you can only legally use those on skis or in a car. Oh, yeah, of course.
So.
And then we could have a cool drone shot following the car, just cutaways.
It all comes back to the drones.
I was gonna work it in there.
The stellar drone technology.
And then a really long walk and talk. We could have somebody walking in front of us, like with a camera kind of behind them so they could see, and it's just us and we're just walking. I like
that.
You ever see Billy on the Street? I love Billy on the Street. Billy Eichner.
Yeah, I have. That's funny.
Something like that. Not like, he's crazy, but just the 2 of us talking and we're just walking around.
More of a natural background. Maybe some ficus trees.
Ficus. Like great. Beautiful ideas.
Foliage.
For Earth Day, it's important to have like a really great style of, greenery.
Yeah.
Greenery.
Austin, Matt's brother, challenged us to use ficus, by the way. So
I didn't know if he was going to mention
it as soon as humanly possible.
I didn't know if he was going to mention it or not. So
no, I had to drop it as soon as humanly possible.
Good. And now he's probably giggling away.
Has Earth Day ever meant anything to you?
No, not a goddamn thing. No. I mean, maybe when I was younger, it did.
Actually, I planted the tree that's behind us here on Earth Day a couple years ago with my dad.
Wow, that's kind of something means something to you.
The podcast set has some history.
Wow.
Actually, I also realized today while setting up, I usually set up specifically so that tree is in the wide shot. But today I'm just like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna move the camera closer. You'll see us better.
No
one's even paying attention to the tree back there. Like I'm always like making it the focal point, but I know it means nothing to everyone else.
But it means something to you, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
Absolutely.
And now it means something to me, so now I'll be focused on it.
Well, now we podcast every
And then if you don't
day,
focus the tree, we're like, hey, why don't you focus the tree in the shot, dude? It seems a little, something's off to me. It's
best it's not even on tonight because it was so fucking cold last night. It murdered all of the growth that was on there anyway, so...
Yeah, it was.
We'll wait for May. We'll wait for.
It was snowing. It had flurries of snow.
Not easy.
It's insanity.
Not easy.
I can't stand it. The best thing about Chicago is the summers. The worst thing about Chicago, the winters. You know, it's just like I don't want to live anywhere else, but goddamn, I just can't stand it.
I thought the best thing about Chicago was the summer, and the worst thing was the bears.
That's true.
Yeah,
right. Oh my gosh. Wow, just like a sick burn, like just a drive-by burn on the Bears, and everyone just kind of nods and like, yeah, they fucking suck.
You know, it's funny. We first agreed to podcast, to meet for a podcast at a Bears game.
At a Bears game,
So in a way, now here's the thing. Did their greatness inspire us to achieve that level? Like, did they bring
lost
us up?
that game hard.
Or were we so like sickened by their poor performance that we're like, we can provide better media entertainment than the Chicago Bears?
Let's be honest. We were up in the skybox, okay? We were up in the skybox with like the glass. That's where deals get fucking done, dude. That's where like the real like Illuminati of the world get their shit done at these fucking, like in a coliseum full of the gladiators fighting like in old Roman times, and we're up there making deals about doing a podcast.
You know, you're blowing my mind by putting it like that. The fact that this was conceived in like a skybox, some like extremely highbrow.
We had talked about it like kind of like, oh yeah, podcasts are cool, okay, but in that room it all came together.
Dude, you're right. We didn't have the confidence to say we're worthy until we were actually lording down on people from the skybox.
Oh, we're fucking worthy. Look at all these fucking plebs below us. And there was a glass, so when I spit, it hit the glass, so it couldn't hit the people below me. But I tried, man. I tried.
That's great. That is great.
But it was a tremendous game. I mean,
it was a good time. It was a damn good time.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I probably had too good a time, but different story.
It can happen. I gotta say, those types of memories and moments makes me really grateful, because once COVID hit, obviously all that shit went out the window.
No,
so
it's
the fact
crazy.
that we had that was my first like box like that at Soldier Field.
Mine too.
I went back in the day, but like Bears games. But
yeah, I had been to Bears games, but never on that level. That was like
even getting to a Bears game, it's not easy. It's expensive.
Not. Yeah. It's fun though. I mean, I hate it. I was just thinking about this too on the way in the car. I wish I was more of like a regular human. You know, I was passing Superdog, right? And I love Superdog, but I gotta wait in lines. I gotta sit with some crowds. You know, there's people. I gotta wait for it, and I just don't like fucking dealing with humans. And the same goes for like a Bears game. When you go to a Bears game and you're leaving a Bears game, and it is a crush of humanity. Like you can.
I miss it.
Oh,
I miss it, man.
Hard pass, dude. Fucking just people breathing on you and touching you and just all up in your biz. Not me.
Mouth breathing too. Not even nostril breath.
Heavy, because they've been sweating, eating sausages and drinking beer, and they lost, and so everyone's down.
You brought up Superdog. Siobhan and I actually went there for her like Welcome to America anniversary.
Cute. When was that?
March 2nd, it's a while ago.
Oh, well, congratulations, Shavana.
When she moved here a few years back.
Cool. Welcome to this hellhole.
We've been, I was going to say, we've been going to various fast food related hellholes for each anniversary.
Perfect. So, yeah. You got to, for the big like 10-year, 20, you got to take her to the West Coast and go to In-N-Out.
There you go.
Because that's the best. That's the best.
I hope I'm gonna bleep this part so Shavana
surprise
can get that surprise.
It's
10
just
years
like 10-second surprise. No, just beep where I say, right? Just blank coast, and then I'll stop talking about it now.
Yeah, no, it could be East Coast, could be like a Shake Shack. I don't know what the hell's on the East
Shake
Coast.
Shake Shack's in Old Orchard. That's also
it's everywhere
good.
now.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, In-N-Out though is specifically. Sorry, I said it. It's specifically because their supply chains. Their supply chains are very like strict.
They won't freeze meat, isn't that it?
Right.
They just won't freeze the beef.
Right. Same with Wendy's, but In-N-Out has like better selection, I would say.
Wendy's doesn't freeze meat?
No, that was one of their things, fresh, never frozen patties. That's like a big thing early on. And that's why I think it's so good, because they don't have frozen. Their shit's not frozen.
I thought they were good because they had Frosties.
That's pretty good. I like Frosty. Who could complain about Frosties? Oh, so good.
Maybe if you're freezing at a Bears game and someone brought you a Frosty and that they expect you to.
Get the fuck out of here. Give me no sausage. And then they prime rib sandwich. They have this prime rib sandwich at the Bears game. And they literally cut it right there. And they fold it in this pita. They slather it with this horseradish sauce.
Dude, I've been watching some like nostalgic Simpsons. And there's a funny scene where Grandpa Simpson, it's the Flying Hellfish episode where he's acting crazy. He acts totally like acting out of his mind. He comes in the house screaming. And for some reason, Marge is like, I think he's gotten into the horseradish again or something. Like, for some reason, the horseradish is going to be like his methamphetamine or something.
Got into the horseradish again.
No, I love it.
Nice.
That's good. I kind of tried, didn't I?
Wicked timbre, man.
Yeah.
Wicked timbre.
If I really tried, I bet I could. No, I don't want to try.
Do you want to hit me with some categories? See how I do?
Categories, or just you want me to hit you with like a phrase? Like submarine.
Door.
Everest.
Mount. I should have said Nepal. Fuck.
Cemetery.
Bohemian.
Christmas.
Lights.
Paraphernalia.
Glass.
I like that one. That's good.
We can stop. We don't have to give me the whole full 10.
I could just keep going. I could just free
just jump
words.
back in. Just jump back in
I'm
when
gonna just
you
hit
want it.
Yeah, when I want it.
Yeah.
Tambourine.
Jingle. Jingle jangle. I got to put some tambourine in our next intro. I got one in there, man.
That might be the hardest. Just jingle.
Jingle. Well, now I'm going to start answering different, too. It's not going to be the content of my answer, but the delivery, right?
Yeah. Gotta make it, spice it, jazz it up.
But because I play drums, I got a ton of like percussive instruments, like shakers and whatnot, that I like kind of never used, like never substantially used for anything. So I have a tambourine that's been 20 years in the making for me to use for something.
Like the guy from Rush, you have like the 20-piece,
The guy from Rush. Neil Peart.
I'm sorry.
Jesus, he died a year ago, but you're already forgetting him.
I'm not. Okay. Neil Peart. I knew. It's like funny because I knew Neil Peart's name and everything, but I still said, the guy from Rush.
At a drummer's house, too. The fact that you dropped this on me.
Is that insulting?
At a drummer's house. Hell yeah, man.
Is that something?
It's on me. I should have named my dog like Pert or something. Like I should have made it blaringly obvious.
Neil P.
You could never forget.
NP. Is he like a favorite drummer of yours? Who's your favorite drummer of all time?
Dave Grohl.
Yeah, that's
of all
I don't want
time,
to say that's like an easy one, but yeah, he's fucking such a great musician. You know?
For everyone that doesn't know, not just Nirvana, listen to Them Crooked Vultures.
Really great shit.
Yeah, he made an album with John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin.
It's a supergroup, right?
And Josh Homme, from Queens of the Stone Age. So if you haven't heard Them Crooked Vultures, listen to that album. Start to finish, it's amazing.
You mentioned Tenacious D. He is the drummer on Tenacious D.
He's the drummer on the Tenacious D.
Yeah.
A great drumming on that album.
Yeah, tremendous. That album is just so freaking good.
I don't know if he did Pick a Destiny. He at least did the self-titled, though.
Yeah. They're the I don't want to say the original, but the one that was like Tenacious D, right?
Yeah.
The one that I listened to ad nauseum again and again and again and know everywhere too.
But he hits hard. I hit hard.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't have like a 30-piece kit, which to me, can be a little overkill. But I love Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Dave Grohl.
As a musician, though, and as a guy, like you just hear the Dave Grohl stories, and he's just like a super cool stand-up guy. He had that like drum battle during last year with the young girl. It's just fun, He's just and he loves music.
Good spirit.
Yeah,
for sure.
You see a lot of, I think, people in the music industry that maybe hit his level, especially on so many like facets, right? He's had so many successes, so many bands. Guys could get a little ahead of themselves, a little full of themselves, and he's just seems very down to earth.
He's a Chicago area man, isn't he?
Is he?
He's got some roots here. I know he does.
Oh, that's cool.
I've heard him talk about it.
I didn't know that.
And I know he's played shows at like the Cubby Bear and like weird bars at Wrigley.
Classic.
In addition to playing at Wrigley Field with Foo Fighters. He also drummed specifically, I think, on the first Foo Fighters album. He like tracked the drums. He played every instrument.
I'm just gonna say he played every instrument, right?
Taylor Hawkins eventually picked up for him. He has a sweet drummer now. Do you have a favorite drummer? Is that like a thing that hits home? Do you have a
drummers? I don't know. I like Stan Getz a lot. I like the classic guy. He's really good. I really enjoy him.
Jeez.
He was like one of the guys that like I heard like of a drummer, and like my dad played him for me, and I was like, oh, this is fucking cool because it's like really centered on him and his like his style, right?
I played La Fiesta, Stan Getz. We played that in high school in jazz band. Yeah.
And there's another guy that I'm thinking of. Maybe it is Stan Getz. There's a Muppet scene, and he's in the Muppets, and he's playing like on everything, and it all sounds like freaking good. And he's just like, it's great. It's great. I think that's Stan Getz, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I like Stan Getz. I do like Dave Grohl. I love Dave Grohl.
It's incredible. Current one that I've been fanboying hard is Bernard Purdie. He plays on Steely Dan songs. He's a session drummer. He's done a lot of artists. Like he's on like every record from like 1950 to 1975.
How sweet of a gig is that, though, to be like a session musician? Just to be I'm on that record, just doing your craft, but like...
It never appealed to me.
Never?
Not to be like a douche, but I feel like I'm an original. Like, I don't want to play other people's shit.
Sure.
And, I don't know. Yeah, there's something obviously powerful when you get to experience so many different styles of music. And I actually do like playing different styles. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be cool to be a fusion drummer, a hard rock drummer, whatever.
But you just have your heart and creative. You want to create something. Yeah. You don't just like playing the instrument and like just like, you want to create something, which is different. Yeah, it's an artist. You're an artist. You're not, you know what I mean? There's levels, right? Some people are musicians, some people are artists, right?
I remember like the guy at Guitar Center when I was a kid, like the drummer that I would talk to, like was selling me in my family gear for all those years. He was saying like, yeah, man, if you're gonna do anything, become a session drummer. That's the thing. That's the only way to make money, whatever. And even from a child, I was like, no, there's no fucking way. I'm not doing that. I'm not even gonna make money on drumming.
I'm better than that. That's good.
It's not even better.
It is. You can have that confidence, though. You can have that thing in you that says, like, I'm a little bit better than that. That's fine, dude.
In a way, it almost feels like I'm unable to do that.
Why?
Well, we did the live band karaoke circuit.
I miss that so much. I miss that so
before
much.
Corona. I had a live band karaoke party for my 30th birthday.
I wish that came back.
And then it was duplicated multiple times.
Well, when something's a hit and everyone is, oh my gosh,
it worked.
yeah.
But by the third or fourth one, I was like, all right, we need to do some original shit.
He was done. Yeah, he was done. Maybe for my 35th birthday, you could surprise me, bring it back.
I would for you. There's no doubt about that. It was still fun.
I tell you what, I know you would, which is why I really wouldn't seriously ask you, because
I would.
What is it? It's like, when somebody does something so good, but like it kills them to do it, but they're so good at it, but they don't want to do it,
It always ends up becoming that way.
Yeah.
Like, once you're the master of something, it gets boring to you. Not to say I'm a master of that stuff, but it just is like that in general.
Yeah.
That's
you're
why
just a grower.
You can't get the Beatles to sit in a room and record an album. That and the assassinations and whatnot and cancer.
Assassinations and cancer and Ringo. No, I'm just kidding.
But it ends up being you need a new obstacle.
Right.
Right.
When you get to that level, right? You want new challenges. I get it.
That's why I feel very comfortable where I'm at now because we're recording this. I'm talking. We're shooting this. I had to record the music for the intro. I get like a lot of touch points.
Yeah.
On different creative bases.
We're creating. I'm just here. I'm just talking. I literally, this is what I do. So, I mean, just so everyone's clear, this is what I do. This is my contribution.
Yeah.
I get a producer credit, but it's not really a producer. I'm just kidding. There are no credits.
Well, once they start, that'll be the only credit. Matt, producer. Do you want to be producer or executive producer or what? How would that work?
Co-executive.
Or how about assistant to the co-executive producer or something crazy like that? Like
catering.
Office style?
Catering, best boy with grip.
Yeah.
Key grip.
Yeah. Top boy. I heard that was used in Nepal for like when you're the best academic student. You're
top boy?
The top boy.
I'm more familiar with the bottom bitch, but...
Yeah, see, there's good ideas all around here. In school, in the bedroom, the whole night.
Head boy is, that was the thing. One of my friends used to love to make fun of. This is a bad story. I won't tell it. Harry Potter. I have a gripe with the books that Harry Potter was never head boy in the books, and I just my friends were talking in the kitchen, and I just was in my own head, and I came out with the phrase, Harry Potter was never head boy. And they both were like, what? What are you even talking about? And like, they had no idea. It was apropos of nothing. It was such a non sequitur. But yeah, head boys. Yeah, it's like English and English schooling. They have head boys. Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the words I learned in Nepal, India, they're like British vocabulary.
Fucking colonizers.
Yeah. It comes up most recently with Shavana with the word hereditary.
Oh.
Instead of hereditary, it's hereditary or something. It's very odd. It seems like it has 12 more syllables in it.
Cooler. Did she say the loo instead of the bathroom?
Cooler? No.
Cooler?
It's not like lift and stuff like that.
Lift.
It's not that bad. It's it's usually just phrasing.
Boot instead of the trunk and
something
fag
like that.
instead of a cigarette.
I'll come up with more over time. I'll think of what they were.
Did they say?
I'm pretty sure Shavana didn't say.
Do you know what I think is really funny?
What?
The word fanny. So
oh yeah, I love that.
Fanny is in English. It's just like your butt, right? But in fanny, it means vagina. And it's like a really like dirty word for it.
Does tushy always mean butt, or does tushy sometimes mean?
Oh, I don't know.
You never heard tush?
Tush, yeah, no.
Grab your tush.
Yeah, tush. Yeah, I think that just means butt, but I don't know if there's any like if it, in another language the connotation is worse. Like shagging. Austin Powers is by shag me. That straight up means like fucking.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more NC-17 of a name in England when it came out. Spy shag me. Because here it's just like shag. That doesn't really make any difference. But there it's straight up. It's a little different. I think they changed the name. I can't remember for sure, but
I always wondered what was holding Great Britain back, but I guess it's not freely using the word shag. Is that that's what's doing it?
Yeah, that's what's holding.
That's why they haven't
right.
vaccinated people at a high level. That's why they have another wave of COVID.
Brexit.
That's why they had Brexit. Just can't win.
Can't win.
Can't win. I'm glad that Austin Powers did come up, though, obviously.
Classic Austin Powers.
You know that Dr. Evil mug I have?
Yeah.
Do you remember that thing?
Yeah.
I just found a video of me when I first got that, shooting a video in 1999. I'm dead serious, dude. I'm dead serious.
That is very funny.
And actually, I really want to show you this. It's me and my sister. We're doing like a fake news show.
Sure.
Like everything we did was an SNL spoof of some sort.
Weekend Update.
And it was in, again, 1999, but I was basically, number one, I was wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin jersey. I had a Dr. Evil mug. I was 11 years old, so this is exactly what you'd expect.
Priceless.
But I kind of predicted the character from Anchorman, the guy who says whammy, David Koechner. like the sports douche, because my sister does like geography, history, like current events, and I'm like the sports guy in like the Stone Cold jersey and I'm talking with like a Southern accent, and I have a hat on. Like, it's not a cowboy hat because I didn't own one, but it's like the closest thing I had to a cowboy hat. It will blow your fucking mind.
Well, we're gonna do. Can you just
and
put
there
like
was
a
something
frame
in the
up of this?
zeitgeist at the time with that sports character, that like douchey whammy type sports character. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was like the height of early sports, right? Early like sports radio.
It
and
was
like 1999, ESPN was getting huge.
It was something like that, right?
And then you had like a lot of talking heads. All the like sports talking heads started showing up because of ESPN and cable news and all that shit. And they were all freaking whammy and big time and shit like that.
And apparently it was so easy and low commitment in terms of executing that personality. I could do it at 11 years old.
You just breathe it, man. You just breathe it.
No, I mean, it was like a child even could be imitating and
I could
taking
see
the
you
place.
as like Champ Kind, actually.
Thank you. I couldn't remember.
Champ Kind, yeah.
Whammy.
Whammy.
Okay, let's not turn it into Anchorman.
It's so good. I love it. I love Anchorman. It was such a classic movie.
Have you seen that meme that before memes it was just men shouting Anchorman quotes at each other back and forth?
Before memes?
Before we had memes, it was
Oh.
just like movie quotes,
Yeah,
basically.
that's what memes are, basically, right? Movie quotes. But
Which it's not fair that I feel like I brought up that for Anchorman. Really, Austin Powers was the main movie quote movie, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Of our lifetimes.
Austin Powers was pretty huge, like Fat Bastard and all of his,
Even by then, that was the second
second
or
one.
third,
But
wasn't it?
I just remember he had so many. I remember Fat Bastard having so many lines and being such a ridiculous character. The Nutty Professor, that's the other one I was thinking of off the top of my head. Nutty Professor, sorry. Kind of a...
Yeah, a lot of lines from that. There's always been movies, There's always been things.
But before memes, it was quotes. You had to
Each
quote
of them.
movies. And
But people
The Simpsons.
loved Austin Powers because it also was a British accent, which are people's, I think, most comfortable accent choice, right?
Well, they dominated us for a long time, so we just feel better when they talk to us because it's like our proverbial former dominators.
Wait, so I thought you were gonna say that like we like to make fun of them because in our mind we remember that we were also colonized by Britain, and we're like,
Oh, I think
fuck them, baby.
Yeah, right.
Screw them. Shag them, baby.
I was kidding, but yes, I definitely think there's a superiority complex Americans have. Like, we appreciate the way they talk, but we also know, like, we'll beat them in a fight. You know what I mean? Like,
because sometimes I feel like the accent's used to class something up, make it sound smarter.
1000%.
But not with Austin Powers.
No, it's there to
Not
make
with Austin
it.
Powers.
Yeah. Well, he's got a very like. Not shitty British accent. I don't mean like the
He's got
accent's bad.
like a hillbilly
yes,
British
it's like
accent.
specifically to be like very 70s and groovy, baby. It's like a particular thing he's going for. But then you have like his boss. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. But the guy who's Basil, Inquisition, and he speaks very British, and he has like the more class accent, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Elizabeth Hurley, who's just what a babe. She was such a
real
babe.
accent.
Real good accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great movie, but his fake accent, it's great. Mike Myers.
Talking about drumming legends like comedian writers, and just comedians in general. Mike Myers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
I thought you were gonna say Dana Carvey.
No, well,
But
I mean, with
yeah.
Wayne's World, I think your brain was already making those connections.
Next
you're
step.
already lining up the next
Drummer Mike Myers. I know one. Yeah, for sure.
No, but God, the number one to have multiple franchises, like multiple series, Wayne's World and Austin Powers, that in like Shrek. I'm sorry, Shrek.
I was
Jesus,
gonna say
what the
it.
hell am
I
I
was gonna
saying?
say it, yeah.
Especially to this demo on YouTube. You also see, like, in my opinion, way too many Shrek memes. No offense to Shrek.
It's gonna
Shrek's
pop.
a great movie.
It's gonna pop. Yeah, it's gonna pop. Well, there's 4 of them. You know what I mean? So
Shrek are great movies.
yeah, Shrek, the Shrek quadrology, and they're gonna do a 5th one. I heard. My daughter really loved Shrek for a long time, so I saw that movie dozens and dozens of times. But yeah, it was a formative movie during a period for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, so it's that's one that's stuck there. It's Shrek.
Back on media brainwashing people.
Oh yeah.
They use like Eddie Murphy. He's a donkey in that. Like, in a way, they kind of have to keep using famous people for animation movies. It's not just like who has the best voice, because they have to take advantage of brainwashing us. Like, we have to use all the movie stars that already have box office clout.
Do you want to know who Shrek was before it was Mike Myers?
I know this.
I bet you do.
I used to know this. It was, let me take a guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was Chris Farley.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and they actually have audio of him like recorded to like some backgrounds.
Have you heard
like
it?
Of yeah, and I mean it's fine. It's just not like Mike Myers nails it. You know what I mean? Like his Scottish, the whole thing he does. Chris Farley. It's like you said, brainwashing. It's not, but like you see Shrek as a extension of Chris Farley's character. Of that like and it was storyboard, so it was a bit more, physical comedy from Shrek and that kind of thing, because that's what Chris Farley was. It was going to be a mirror of him, like the big rah, rah, rah guy. But then obviously Mike Myers came in and became a different character. But yeah, media brainwashing though, yeah.
It's hard to imagine Chris Farley in that role, I guess, but
yeah. Especially because it's so iconic,
Yeah.
Like he's.
Well, I was gonna say. Plus, you probably saw this after watching 10 hours of Shrek, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
Each movie 2 times.
I can't imagine him as anybody else than Mike Myers,
So.
And yeah, it was on YouTube. I can't remember where I saw it. Always with everything it was on YouTube. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's I don't know if it's brainwashing, but I think the media is just another arm of capitalism, and so usually they pick the person who is most gonna generate the most bucks, right?
Built-in audience.
And I think Chris Farley at that time, he was gonna branch out into like more of a kid audience, and you're gonna have the adults bring them to the kids movie because they like Chris Farley, right?
Yeah.
That's like that angle on there, and so they just replaced it with another SNL alum, Mike Myers, right? So it's still the same,
It almost doesn't feel fair that Mike Myers did that. Like, he's just done everything.
Oh,
My
yeah.
God, he's been the guy. He's the Dave Grohl of comedy. My God.
You know who I actually think is the Dave Grohl comedy?
Who?
Will Ferrell.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because that guy, like, Mike Myers is in a lot of stuff, but Will Ferrell's like in everything. Like,
yeah, he writes too.
Yeah,
He's
him
a
and
good writer.
Adam McKay.
Yeah.
And former SNL head writer Adam McKay.
That's right.
I'm a big Will Ferrell fan. I know people just don't like his whole thing, whatever. But
Is that a thing now?
yeah,
People
I
don't
know
like
it
him?
used to be. I know it used to be for a lot of time. Like
I thought you were just required by law as a hipster to hate people once they're famous for 5 years.
once they get to that certain point of success.
Hipster justification of failure, basically, is not getting on board with Will Ferrell's movies.
I'm kind of glad I'm not as much of a hipster as I used to be. But
Same here.
I used to be real hard.
Speaking of watching old Simpsons, by the way, hipsters have always been the same. Since the early 90s, mid-90s. I watched the Homer Palooza episode.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, Lord. Watch that.
Cannonball on his chest and everything.
Yeah, well, but one great moment is like, it's the cannonball guy. He's cool. And the guy next to him is like, do you even mean that? Or whatever. And he's like,
Do you even know if you're being around?
Yeah, I don't even know anymore. 1996, everyone.
Nailing
What
it.
is different?
Simpsons did it first.
I feel like we had that conversation on the podcast like last year.
Which, but being ironic.
Things
and
being ironic. It's like, can you even tell anymore?
too ironic, yeah.
You get
Too
lost in that shit.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I don't miss that hipster lifestyle. But yeah, Will Ferrell, I think a lot of, he had a lot of underground success. You had Old School, you had Anchorman, a bit more cult comedies. And then, Talladega Nights, he started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it was just like, I'm Will Ferrell, he's not funny, doing like everything, but I don't know. He's literally he's in like the Lego movie, Stranger Than Fiction, he's in so much, he's in so much,
I think I know when he jumped the shark or when people started turning on him.
Tell me.
The movie Kicking and Screaming.
I remember that one.
Do you remember it being good or do you remember?
My dad loves that movie. My dad loves that movie because
I don't know why I'm saying this. I feel like it's just...
No. I definitely remember that movie being like a meh.
Because he was like
On fire.
solid gold.
On fire.
Every movie before that. Yeah. And that one, I want to say it was kind of watered down. Was it like a family movie more?
It was more of a family movie, and he was like an outrageous guy, and it just didn't hit. It just didn't have that. I don't think it was. He flourishes, I think, in the more raunchy area where he can really go, and I think that, like you said, was a bit more family friendly. Also in Austin Powers, he's also in Austin Powers.
Oh,
by the way,
shit, that's right.
And I was just like, oh, he's been in so much stuff, and I was like, oh, Mustafa.
My legs.
It's really bad. I'm very and then he's got the horribly burned
Totally forgot about that.
Oh man, yeah.
And he's in multiple of them. He's not even just in one.
Yeah.
He's in 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, and then he gets killed in 2, and it's the Lucky Charms guy, and that's like, yeah, great. And those are movies that like I remember everything. I remember everything. That's why Austin's named Austin. Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Austin Ficus Harris.
Austin Egg Bagley Jr. Harris. But yeah, I don't know. I think as more successful as Will Ferrell got, he started, like you said, media brainwashing. I think people maybe expect him in things. I don't know. I just think, I like Will Ferrell.
I do too. I love him. And
I don't know why people hate him, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Dude, it's just like hipster bullshit, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, what the fuck are you getting so negative about Will Ferrell for? The dude brings nothing but joy to the world. He's not offensive.
Yeah.
He's like a good dude.
Yeah.
He's like, Does he have like a problematic movie that pissed people off? I can't really.
No, I think people, when you like somebody and you're like down there with them in the trenches and you like them before everybody else likes them, and then they get so big and it's just like, he's not the same anymore, but
It's just that typical cycle.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
selling out, people don't like sellouts, I guess. But even
Or
though
is
that's like the natural progression of, depending, I mean, you don't have to sell out like super hard, but like,
Is it media overexposure? Like you can say yes to too many things, you can be in too many movies, you can do too many interviews. Is that a thing?
Oh,
is it that?
I think so. I think there's people that maybe go overboard,
Yeah.
You have like somebody that's like, but again, like we said, you got to strike when the iron's hot, right? So if you're an actor and you're getting all these things thrown at you, you're going to want to take what you can get because you might not get those roles again. I listened to Jack Black do a career retrospective yesterday, and he just goes through all of his roles. And Jack Black's like in everything.
Yeah,
I think we talked about him a couple episodes ago, but I love him. He's great, hilarious. But he talked about that once he made School of Rock. It was High Fidelity. He made High Fidelity, and they were offering him all these projects, and he made School of Rock specifically because they were like tailored it around him and everything, and blah blah blah, and how he was just like, but I was offered so many things, and I wanted to take it while I could get it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you do have to. You have to go for it. I just heard this with David Byrne. I guess something similar happened in the mid '80s because Talking Heads got hot. Then they let him make a movie. And then
yeah, what movie did
I never even saw it. It's an album actually goes with it. It's it's the song Wild Wild World, if it's around that era. I can't even remember. I've never even seen the movie. Huge Talking Heads fan, but
Yes,
I haven't reached that far. But actually, to be honest, one of the reasons I haven't seen the movie, and I mean, of course, I love Stop Making Sense, and even his newest iteration, American Utopia.
I'd like to see that live.
But I think he was just doing like a lot. That he was making music. He like wrote songs for the movie, but he also like wrote the movie. And I heard this story, like he had someone like help him co-write the movie in a way just because he didn't want it to say written by, like starring,
Directed,
music by, like he was going to be embarrassed by like that he was going to be on so many things.
Doing everything. But sometimes that backfires on you. Like you said, overexposure, doing too much, and then you go crazy, and then it's like, I'm doing too much, and you have to take a step back,
And it's weird how people actually do have a sense of fairness in terms of radio play. Like you kind of have to deserve your spotlight. You have to...
Sometimes. I don't know. On the radio with the music industry and the way there's certain channels that are playing top 40, and the top 40 are kind of predetermined, I won't say, but like, there's definitely, I feel, certain record labels are able to put their money into advertising and directing, like Bruno Mars' new soundtrack, which we talked about last episode. I really like it, but it's being played a lot. And I think a lot of it has to do with...
You mean Anderson .Paak?
Yeah, sorry, Anderson .Paak's new song.
Silk Sonic.
Former session musician Bruno Mars.
But even now, I heard TikTok is a big thing. Well, they'll pump songs using TikTok. They'll pay influencers to use song snippets that kind of just creates the media momentum, right?
The buzz, and then you're gonna, look at the cool dance and all that shit. And I think that's just smart marketing, right?
I was being harsh. I'm always being harsh with the media brainwashing thing, although I think it's a valid...
No, it's totally valid, absolutely.
Like, area to explore, but it is kind of momentum based.
But I think like you're right. There is a media brainwash to make you like the song. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a drive to push you to specific songs, which I would say is a form of brainwashing.
Yeah.
When you think you have all of this choice, but really it's not. You have the choice between like 3 or 4 things, and they're pushing you into like, because you already like Bruno Mars, so listen to more Bruno Mars, and you like, you know what I'm saying?
I remember in psychology classes, they always use music to describe the mirror exposure phenomenon, just merely exposing someone over and over to a certain thing. It could be music, it could be painting, whatever, any sort of type of art. It makes you like it more because every time you see it, you recognize it, and it's comforting to you to recognize that. So those earworms are kind of drilled into you in that way.
That makes sense. That's why I love Star Trek so much, because I constantly need to be comforted, and that's just a comforting. That makes so much sense to me now.
Well, that's the Office rewatch, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing
Kevin's gonna spill the chili.
It's The Office, How I Met Your Mother, which we were just going through that, and now we started New Girl again. Ready to start New Girl again.
I never did much of New Girl. Never did much of How I Met Your Mother.
Both are tremendous shows. I really enjoy them. It's very 2006 to like 2014.
I'm more of a Friends and Seinfeld guy.
Friends, Seinfeld.
If I could instantly come up with 2 analogies. To those.
Two equals. Cheers.
Two.
Cheers. I love Cheers. But yeah, like. I think that like it's not necessarily it is nefarious, but I think it's more profit motive. You know, you want to drive to the same sources of profit. You know?
Well, supposedly that's what's fucking up the movie industry is like they're spending so much on the movies, they have to have that momentum going. They have to have a built-in customer base, or they just won't make the investment.
Right.
They're just like, fuck it, like let the
because
indies make everything
these
cool
big
and
blockbuster movies, they have a budget for the movie, they have a budget for the marketing, and they have a movie that might cost $250 million might have another $100 million in marketing. So the movie itself costs $500 million, and it's like, if you don't make that $1 billion, you're not making anything, and you have to pay all of these producers and all these people that have their hand in the it's crazy. These
a lot of
giant tentpole movies, my friend was talking, and she had made a good point. Like, how is HBO or Warner Brothers or any of these companies making money? Like, by not
I can answer that. They're not.
Right.
AT&T is a zombie company that is so deep to its eyeballs in debt that has a terrible market valuation compared to Netflix and Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They don't make money. They're fucking broke.
But
they make money, but you know what I mean?
No,
they have horrible debt. They have horrible debt.
Yeah.
AT&T. It's insane.
And yet they somehow were able to acquire Warner Brother or what was it? Yeah, the whole thing. And that's allowed,
Yeah. No, they're HBO Max. They're Warner Brothers, you know? Warner Brothers is like the movie studio in my mind. You know? That's what Nolan's on, our favorite Christopher Nolan.
Chris Nolan.
Kubrick ended there. And supposedly they give cool creative control. You know, they give the money and they back off and let you work. For some things.
Yeah, I'll say
I
for some
can't answer
things.
for all the new
I'm not gonna get into the Zack Snyder bullshit or all that with they're pretty strict with their the DCEU, you know. They see how much Marvel movies are pumping out money and they wanted to duplicate it. But they don't have Kevin Feige, who is like the magic man, to like put it all together. They were using Zack Snyder, but they ultimately chickened out, and so they pulled him because he was running the whole show. Yeah. You know, he was going to direct them all, and he had to create a vision for like 7 movies or something like that.
Who's the other gentleman you mentioned?
Kevin Feige. He's like the head of the studio now from Marvel. He was the producer of like all the early Marvel movies. He's been like
he started as an extra in Iron Man, and he worked his way up.
He started, I think, as a producer for like the not original Spider-Man, but like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Did he really?
So he was in like all of the Marvel movies up to like, you know, and then he became who he became, right? Like he's always like stuck with the group. And like always had he had the vision, though he had the vision of the big all these overarching movies and everything. And,
I mean, good for him. That's cool.
I mean, he's making billions of dollars. They made him an executive producer to head of the department, and now he's the head of his own studio. So I mean, he's you know, he's pretty big league.
Mr.
But
Marvel.
They didn't have that in Warner Brothers. There was that's the rumors. There's too many cooks, and all the executives had their own opinions. And
oh shit, I believe that in any big time corporate setting, but I mean, I know with like Kubrick's arrangement,
auteurs,
he told
you
them
know,
to fuck off.
Auteurs, right? You got Chris Nolan, who is like an auteur. They I think bent over backwards for him for Tenet, you know, making sure that, you know, it was under wraps, and you know, he wanted to release it in IMAX in the theaters, you know, and they I think they really, you know, bent over backwards for him, you know.
He had the sickest quote. I think I've used it before. When they talked about how they were going to release all of their movies on HBO Max the following year due to Corona. He said, I went to sleep thinking I was working for the world's best movie studio, and I woke up working for the world's worst streaming service.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Incredible.
And how does that feel? You know, how does that feel? Yeah. You know, that's not a good feeling.
Because he obviously could have went to Netflix. You know, he didn't want that path. He wanted to stay in, you know?
That's why I think they paid Martin Scorsese a ridiculous amount of money to do The Irishman. Because he was, I don't know, but I just said, I didn't even look it up. But for him to like go to the small screen, so to speak, and do a full movie, and it's not like in theaters, because I felt like he was a big theater, you know what I mean, experience guy. So they must have.
Do you mean theater? I'm sorry.
Theater.
Theater?
They must have backed up the Brinks truck for that guy to do that, you know? And they were like, okay, you can do it however you want. We'll give you the whatever budget. You can bring in all your friends. And, you know, we'll even make them look younger because, you know, we want them to stick around. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I heard that was horribly expensive. It ended up being kind of crazy, right?
For 4 hours. Well, think about a 4-hour movie, okay? And then think about how much content or you have to shoot for a 4-hour movie. And then now think about how many shots are de-aged and all that stuff. And like the complications and like, oh my God. Like,
I've been de-aging us for the podcast, obviously. But, you know, it's just minor skin.
It's just the baby filter from Snapchat.
That is pretty funny, actually, to use stuff like that.
Wouldn't that be great, just the baby filter?
Yeah. It'll be our avant-garde podcast phase. We'll get there.
Yeah. We'll be different colors and just be a Jackson Pollock painting one day.
Would love to. How do you think it's going to be to actually be filming these inside again? Have you thought about the difference?
Quieter, am I right, guys?
The yelling
Quieter,
of children. Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I talked recently to you about, I think, the energy, the fact that I think we speak quicker outside. We speak with, like, louder, basically, outdoors.
Yeah, it's an outdoor podcast versus inside when we're going to be a little bit more chill. And it's going to be like smooth jazz. I don't know.
Well, musicians talk about how they hate outdoor festivals versus like indoor shows. There's something to having
because they can sound better. They sound better.
The natural reverb and the fact that like energy is kind of contained in a space. Stand-up comedians love like tiny rooms and like low ceiling type rooms.
Well, seeing as it's Earth Day, I like being a part of the Earth. Being outdoors and just experiencing
Boeing
nature.
747.
Look, it's the moon. You can see it. You see the moon out right now. It's really bright out there. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh shit! Yeah, the moon is up there. Nice.
Yeah. See, it's on Earth Day. The moon's showing up for Earth Day.
It's quite beautiful.
Saying hi, guys. I'm here too.
If that's in the wide shot and I'm still editing at this point, I'll try to zoom in on it. But there's no way it's
it's impossible. But no, I don't know. I haven't really, I liked shooting indoors. It felt like I don't know. You're not exposed to the elements as much.
Do you even remember anymore?
I don't.
Do you even remember what it's like?
I don't. When I think about it, I think of like being outdoors here, and I'm like, oh yeah, there was times. But that was like 3 years ago now.
I like to think of this like we're fighting with a weighted vest on, and then once we get back in the normal ring, we're going to be like monsters. You know what I mean?
Well,
Nothing's going to stop us.
Face to face within like playing footsie under the table and shit. Like it's going to be real. It's going to be different. Well, being closer to you, I think will be quiet the voices. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
I'm going to be closer, so I'm not going to feel like I have to yell. I'm going to probably talk a little bit more like this. Because we're outside, I think I'm a bit more loud, maybe.
No, there's something to it. It for sure definitely just changes you. Like, if you go to see a musician at a festival or something, it's hard not to scream,
Yeah.
I remember seeing like Kendrick Lamar in outdoors, and I was like, yeah, he's just yelling. I don't know. It's like... Because it's probably hard to hear, and then
he probably can't hear himself, and then he can't hear the
sound
musicians.
just escapes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whereas when you're in
Not talking shit. Much love, K-Dot. Much love.
He's like, this motherfucker.
I will say I love him though, but I did not. I saw him live a few times and never really enjoyed it. I saw him open for Kanye.
Oh, cool.
Too, which it was better indoors.
How was Kanye?
I saw him for the Yeezus tour. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The man is. Do you know anything about that tour?
No, was that the one where he had the platform and he was on the platform?
A giant mountain. He had an indoor mountain built, and he had this circular screen that moved that was bigger than any jumbotron at the United Center you've ever seen. I was at the United Center.
You sure?
Oh, it was incredible. And I was in the nosebleed sections. I couldn't even see the monitor that well. So like I didn't even have facets of the show that like people in the standing room had. But it was still incredible because everyone by me were actual real fans because they were like younger and broke. And so we all knew every lyric, and it was like...
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
It felt like you were in the main fan section. I would hate to be actually at the front, come to think of it, with like the people like checking their cell phones that are just rich and, don't
super
even care.
rich, just FaceTiming and, yeah. Well, yeah, I would hate that experience entirely. I wouldn't like to sing with anybody or not me, not my scene.
Well, you know what? You talked about you wanted to take the pod on the road, doing it in a car.
Oh, yeah.
Can we do it maybe at an outing, maybe like a music festival or something?
Just one Steadicam, the two of us, and it's just I'm like, what the fuck are we? This is the worst idea we ever had. How did I convince you to let me do this? One of those.
Or I'll take you to a festival and we'll just shoot it like when we're in line for the porta potties. Like it'll just be opportunity-based podcast.
And it'll just be standing next to you. I'm not going in there. I'm holding it for 7 hours. I'm not going in there. You go in there, James. I'm not doing anything in there.
Have you been to Lollapalooza?
No.
Have you seen the Simpsons episode, Homer Palooza?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a classic episode with the Smashing Pumpkins, right?
That's right. Yeah. Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. Homer Simpson, smiling politely.
I hate that it made me giggle, but that's such a good line.
I was thinking, I'm like, God, I wonder if people say that to Billy Corgan all the time. If he ever says like... But he's never announcing himself like, I'm from the band Smashing Pumpkins. That's ridiculous.
Hey, it's me, Billy Corgan. Use your best lines. Come here. No, but I bet there's some people that definitely do. It's probably subsided since the early 2000s, but I'm sure every once in a while, a good 37-year-old will run up to him, or a 35-year-old be like, oh, hey, Simpsons joke, here you go.
It's been a while because he has hair in the episode, so it's been a damn bit.
He owns the National Wrestling Alliance, right?
this may have came up in our Vince McMahon.
Did it? Yeah, I think it must have. Yeah.
Modus
yeah,
operandi.
He owns the NWA, which used to be the largest territory, and it has like some of the most storied history in wrestling.
Hey, no, Chicago guy. He's from Chicago.
Absolutely.
Hyde Park.
Yeah, I think so. I knew one of his ex-girlfriends that he wrote a song about.
Really?
She worked at a store by me, and
did she tell you this, or?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
You know, Billy wrote that song about me.
Yeah, she did. Well, it was like they said that she dated Billy Corrigan, and I was like, no way, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, like for a while they were pretty serious, I guess.
What song?
I can't remember. I don't have that much, but it was a song. And
Bullet and Butterfly Wings? Or
maybe.
Rat in a Cage?
Rat in a Cage, yeah.
I don't even know the.
They're just saying lyrics now.
No,
yeah. No, but yeah, and then I asked her, and she's like, yeah, it was blah blah blah, so and so song, and I just was like, oh wow, that's crazy, you know, like crazy. So she has a little bit of, you know, Chicago history, I guess.
Did you know that Kanye West, being also Chicago, shout out, wrote a song about me?
Jesus Walks.
Jesus Walks.
Did I get you? Did I get you?
Jesus Walks. Yeah, he didn't know it at the time.
Gold digger.
Nor did. Shit. I just saw actually some makeup that said gold digger, and it was just like gold eye paint or something. I don't know what it was.
Who is that marketed
But I was like,
to?
no, that's what I was wondering. Like
14-year-old girls. That's who it's marketed
But
to.
that's gonna.
They're consumers too.
Gold is gold, man. Gold looks good.
Gold Schlager, little gold flakes in there.
Yeah. There's that. I should actually, if I should somehow package this podcast with gold in some way.
Oh,
Well, actually, we're probably using some gold-plated gear.
I'm sure there's gold in that laptop. There's conductors in there.
If you could see from here, my 1/8 to 1/4 headphone adapter, that's gold-plated.
Straight up gold, dude.
No doubt.
Solid K.
Actually, people talk, I brought up Bitcoin as one of my categories. People
Yeah.
always talk about Bitcoin and gold, and they're like, it's just the same thing as gold. Like, it's a store of value. It's a digital store of value. And it kind of bothers me because, like, gold is useless, whatever. I'm like, gold is not useless. Gold is used for all sorts of shit.
Right.
It's a major conductivity metal. And
Yeah, it's just, I think, to the history of gold, right? It's just always been a rare metal, right? So even though it's not as rare as I guess it used to be, but, it's still gold. We got to have some sort of, would you say, gold standard of...
we do. We should go back to the gold standard. This is my Ray Dalio coming out here. I'm gonna start laying it on the line. We need to go back to old currency, fiat currencies.
Yeah, there you go, fiat
old
currencies.
Fiat currencies.
voodoo economics. No, Bitcoin. It's interesting. All these cryptos, very interesting. What it's doing, how it's changing everything.
Interesting is a word.
Interesting.
That's a word you could use.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
My biggest problem is that it's all useless. It's not actually useful yet.
Right.
It's all just talk. It's all marketing. My theory is Bitcoin is marketing. Like signaling has becoming such a big thing, like virtue signaling or intelligence signaling.
Yeah.
Bitcoin has become sort of like intelligence signaling
in a
for
way, yeah.
banks. No, really, in just being like, oh, we're edgy, we're the future.
We do Bitcoin.
We accept Bitcoin for our Tesla. Elon, kind of Elon's become like kind of the new Trump, the new Kanye West, like the master media manipulator. Speaking of. And he's been using Bitcoin. He's been using Dogecoin just to like kind of catch headlines.
Yeah.
Like in a very.
But it's like working in a way because
it's working,
going up and down. I think too he is trying to get away from he wants more things. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. He wants more control over more things, right? I don't know. He
certainly wants some more shine. He seems to be addicted to attention.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. He just wants, I don't know. He wants to be on the cutting edge of everything. Like, he wants to be Tony Stark. You know what I mean? To another superhero reference. I feel like he legitimately wants to be this, like, Superman, super dash man.
One of the coolest rock stars our age.
What was that?
Grimes.
Yeah.
He wants like a rock star, I think, thing
I'm
going
really
on.
familiar with Grimes, though. So when, like, that hurt, like, I was like, I don't know who that is.
I'll tell you, listen to her first album.
Is it good?
It's incredible.
Okay.
She made it on her MacBook Pro.
Oh, jeez.
In GarageBand. I don't know about MacBook Pro. She made it in GarageBand. But Grimes is cool.
Okay.
Specifically the first album, and I don't know, you can talk other albums here and there, but something with Elon, I think he is kind of sick. I think he is craving that media attention. Another person who's been doing this specifically as it relates to crypto is Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Do you know much about Mark Cuban?
Yeah, I like Mark Cuban though. Yeah.
I do too, but he's been pushing, and he was pushing GameStop stuff, and then he was like jumping on the Dogecoin bandwagon.
Doge is getting huge.
It just did this last like week or two.
I was following Doge when it was a meme. So like it was legit a meme with the dog, and it was
Right.
just Dogecoin, and it had no value, and
It
all
still is a meme that has no value.
Yeah, right,
It
right.
has monetary value at this
Yes,
point,
but-
it doesn't provide anything for society, which actually is important. And that's like, I know
this. Right.
like Charlie Munger, he works with Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. That's one of the reasons he's specifically against Bitcoin. He's like, it's like unproductive. It doesn't advance our civilization forward. So why am I going to take my money that can be used, even just investing in Apple computers to give me a better phone or whatever next year? Like, why should you invest in something that doesn't produce for society?
Right,
The
it's
idea being that there's going to be a replacement of fiat currency, and it will be productive, but currently it's not there, right? It's not doing the things that it could do, or people I think always hype it and wanting it to do.
What do you think is coming after currency? What is our next?
Well, this
step?
is not the first time someone's trying to invent money, right?
Right.
There's nothing after currency.
Are we
Energy,
always gonna be like
energy,
a- yeah.
like electricity? I
Yeah.
mean, what else would it be? I mean,
Well, you know, I'm a Star Trek guy, so like, you know, there's the utopian where they don't barter. Money is not used to barter anymore. You know,
Time.
they have replicators, and you know, and
Time.
It's, so
Someone's
it's the
time.
advancement, yeah.
right? Which ends up being translated to labor. Maybe like you get like human services. You're taking someone's time.
So like, what do you think about the like if like Andrew Yang talks about, you know, everything becomes eventually automated and humans become just kind of like button pushers, and you know, we don't really need to be as active or as like, you know, hands on with all of these things anymore. You know, so we don't need to trade currencies. We need resources to live. So what are we doing?
Like, well, actually, one of the cool things that I've heard about blockchain in general is all the stuff that came up with NFTs recently,
Yeah.
which is how you can like buy and sell things, and it sort of has like automatic accounting built in, where like the originator is getting a percentage of each transaction, whatnot. Like, I love that. I love the fact that, you know, it's allowing us maybe to just have QuickBooks running in the background, so to speak, to have some of the like labor of counting, which, come on, you know, have that be done maybe by a blockchain technology. But like in terms of anything after that, it's all money and time, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it'd be time. I think time is a good answer. I think it would eventually, when money is not an object, it will be how do you occupy your time. Your time will be the most valuable thing.
I think that
It is already, but we don't think
automation's
about it like
coming for the actuaries. It's not coming for the plumbers.
that. Yeah, you're right.
So you're still going to need someone to grab that pipe and squeeze that wrench and go, oh, this is an old...
Doctors and surgeons, because you're going to have all these X-rays and these things, and you're going to have a computer be able to analyze these X-rays with not human eyes, and they're going to be able to analyze it better than human eyes. They're going to be like, oh, this millimeter tear in your perforated colon, you know, perforated colon. That's what I went with. But you know, you don't. But you know what I'm
Use
saying?
millimeter too. You switch to like scientific
Yeah.
nomenclature for measurement. I appreciate that.
But like that, I think is a very interesting. You know, some of the most money generating individuals will be some of the first people out the door. Truck drivers, because they're gonna have automated trucking, and when you have 8 hours a day and you can only drive 8 hours, but now you can do 24 hours having trucks moving. It's gonna be very interesting. It's coming.
Back to Elon, Tesla.
Oh yeah.
People, you know, some people like to say it's a financial exaggeration. I don't want to say bubble. It's a really like emotional word for some people, but that there's actually going to be a hard path forward for Tesla to actually grow into its market cap. Like it's gonna have to like basically put every car manufacturer out of business and then sell more cars. And currently, of course, Tesla only makes money based off the fact they sell government credits. But people were comparing, you know, big scam bubble type things like Enron to Tesla.
Yep.
And they were saying, and I just heard like, you know, at least in Enron, they weren't fucking killing people by pretending like their cars actually could drive themselves.
Yeah, right.
And not that they can't drive themselves, because they actually can to a great degree. But the false sense of confidence is actually the problematic element in this situation.
People sleeping in it. Somebody was sitting in the passenger seat, right? Some car just burst on fire. They were sitting in the passenger seat. One was sitting in the back seat.
No one was in the driver's seat.
No one was in the driver's seat.
And they didn't have autopilot engaged, which Elon came out with like, oh, that's a great thing. But in a way, it's like, shouldn't there be a safety feature where if something horribly happens to someone in the driver's seat and there's no weight in the driver's seat, that it has to go to autopilot? Or
right.
I don't know. Like
the idea that that's such a smart, like, why is the idea that if no one's sitting in the driver's seat, the car will drive at all? You know what I'm saying? It's just ripe for problems. You know, it's just ripe for problems.
Well, there's the thing where you had to have your hand on it. Do you remember?
I don't.
Excuse me. They did have some sort of safety feature where they wanted to feel your hands on the wheel.
Okay.
But then people realized you could just take like a navel orange and squeeze it between the steering wheel, and it felt like a hand to the computer. I mean, it takes nothing, you know. It's a game these systems.
Right. It's something. I don't know.
But what's your do you have a Tesla take?
Not really. I
Elon?
remember. I don't know how I feel about Elon.
Grimes?
I feel like we've talked about this. I feel like I don't know how I feel about Elon, man. I think he's like a super genius, but I don't think he's like I don't want to say he's an evil super genius, but I don't trust Elon Musk.
That's kind of a hot take.
I don't trust Elon Musk. I know
kind of a hot take.
He's like the the be all end all super tech guy, and he's I appreciate so much what he's doing for space travel and space exploration and all that.
I kind of do.
But his motives.
Part of me gets pissed off at the Mars shit and Jeff Bezos being obsessed with space. I want my dad to have better hearing aids. I want my parents to be able to hear in their old age.
They're nerds. They're not like it's not like they're nerds.
You got to be fair on that. That's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying though? That's my problem. Like, we put a guy like Jeff Bezos and a guy like Elon Musk on these pedestals, and I say this as a fucking nerd.
Time out. They're peacocks. They're not nerds. They're trying to fucking have a peacock feather that shoots to fucking space,
right.
man. They're not. Is it a nerd thing or is it a rockstar thing?
Okay, so for me, if I had billions of dollars and I was a smart guy, yeah, man, I want to go to space. I want to send people to space. Because you know what I mean. I think a lot of it has to do with their upbringing, right? And when you are into like a nerdy kid, you're into science fiction and fantasy and space, and now you're at a level of success where you can literally reach and touch the stars.
You ready for this? 2001: A Space Odyssey. Maybe Elon saw it when he was 8 years old. Produced by Warner Brothers. So
Stanley
Warner
Kubrick.
Brothers is the reason that we're all going to space.
Dude. Fuck yeah. I mean, seriously though, you had I know I just talk about Star Trek, but people talking about that show, they have a reverence for it, and the actors. I've been watching a lot of actor stuff because they've been doing reunions because of COVID, and the actors talk about how all of these scientists have such respect for them, and watching that show has drove them into the sciences. And so I'm just saying that in their youth, I'm sure that a lot of those guys, if you're into computers, you watched some nerdy stuff, and what is the motivation then? Peacocking, sure.
I think it's a big ass peacock feather. I think that rocket is like a dick, basically.
But I think too that that's what's the first where can humans push? James Cameron's got the ocean floor. We're fine with that.
Yes, you're right. Thank you for bringing Cameron to this.
So we're fine with the depths of the ocean. But what are we doing up top? You know what I mean? Honestly, though, in my opinion, I think the oceans are vastly underexplored. I think there's fascinating stuff under the sea that we cannot even possibly imagine at the depths that anyways, I think it's both fascinating above and below. You know what I mean?
It is. But that's a great example that we haven't even mastered this big rock, right? Yeah.
But we're still in our infancy. If you really think about it, we've only been around
for yourself, man.
For 10,000 years or something like that as a species, something like that. Like humans as we exist now.
I've actually just recently moved from my infancy to my juvenilitude. I actually just got there.
Juvie, we're all in juvie.
To my juvie stage of life.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't trust Elon. I think you're right though. He's an attention whore. He knows how to use his spotlight, like Trump does, to inflate the things that he wants. When he pulled all that shit about I'm gonna sell my company to Saudi Arabia, and he inflated the market cap. He knows what he's doing. He's not a dumb guy.
Tesla public at 420. Haha. Smoking the J on a famous podcast, Joe Rogan Experience. He knew what he was doing.
He absolutely knew what he's doing.
Brilliant. Media manipulator. Again, free headlines up the wazoo.
And he knows that millennials will fuel his marketing for him. That he doesn't have to do much. He can post silly meme lord tweets, and then that is swept up by the TikTok and the Instagram and the Reddits and all that shit. And look at how silly this billionaire guy is, right? And then it perpetuates this myth that he is just this because I've heard stories that he's kind of a man's man, and he's like an alpha dog, and he's from South Africa, right? And he is the culture that he was brought up in, was very masculine. So he wants to have, which I guess goes back to more your peacocking theory than my Star Trek fan theory.
Yeah, I think it does.
So a lot
he
of
also got COVID.
Machismo, yeah. Well,
which there's a little bit of, I think, male hubris involved, and guys like Trump and Elon getting COVID. Right?
I can't get sick. I'm immune.
Ain't no one manlier than Putin. His ass didn't get it. He still was at least smart enough to be like...
Oh, he had some people. I'm sure he had everything locked down. That guy had locked down. Putin, he's such an interesting guy.
No, but I didn't know that about the South African element of masculinity.
That was an article I was reading was talking about the South African masculinity and how white South African masculinity, and how he was a product of that. And so he has this nice guy persona, but really he's kind of a monster,
Well, he was in Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, he's as himself. And,
He's in Iron Man 2?
Yeah, 2. They're at a party. It's 2, I believe, and they're at a party. And he's just that's why they were it's like safety regulations and stuff like that. Tesla was getting away with a lot of things for a long time because there was like the startup company and blah blah blah. But then like they had a lot of issues in their factories because there wasn't like proper safety stuff going on, and because he was just that wasn't a priority for him, right? Like it wasn't a priority for him. So I gotta say
it was talk about he's evil, whatever. I don't have like that kind of opinion.
No,
on him,
I don't think he's evil.
But I will say it kind of made me wonder if he was changing or if maybe he was getting kind of sucked into the media thing when last year he was basically taking those red pills every month. He was taking those red pills just because he wanted to like make money for Tesla, or his factory was shut down.
Yeah.
But like he was kind of pushing some buttons when he actually, even if he was trying to keep a profit motive, he actually didn't need to do, I think, right before the election.
Yeah.
Right before the Trump election. I'm not going to forget that shit.
No.
That's kind of, I get it. Move to Texas, shelter your tax money, do it just like Rogan. A lot of people do that shit. I'm not going to hate on that. But the fact that he was having a little too much fun with it, talking about taking red pills with Ivanka, whatever the fuck, right? Like,
dude, that's meme lord shit, though. That's
I know,
silly millennial fucking like early 20s like meme lord shit, And I think he's I don't know, man. I think part of it's tongue in cheek, but I think part of it's legit, right? Part of it's tongue in cheek and like, oh, I can play this character and I can get, you know what I mean? But
he can. But those things, they have implications. How many fanboys are following him into all sorts of things that they don't even realize yet. Tesla, I know Tesla specifically too has a lot of people that like rode that stock really high and then like haven't diversified, haven't sold, because they're kind of like treating it like a religion, like I'm going to save the planet, I'm going to kill gasoline, where Tesla is going to make me rich.
And how much of that is bullshit, right? Like his
it's
whole
bullshit.
He was like, I'm going to build a submarine. Remember that whole thing to save the kids in the trap mine in the Philippines?
I don't remember that.
Okay, so there was those kids. Yeah, those kids were trapped in the mine. They were in the cave, and they went on a cave expedition, and then the water came through, so then it closed the cave off, right? So then he was like, I'm going to build a single-person submersible, and blah, blah, blah. He just kind of swooped in and just claimed all this stuff, right? And then he ended up calling the main diver a pedophile.
Oh, I do remember now, yes.
Because, because he didn't get his way and it didn't exactly go the way he wanted to, because he wanted to come in and be Iron Man. And they were like, no, guy, we got this. Like, we're professionals. Like, we're going to do it. And of course, they did. They saved all the kids, but he called the guy a pedophile, and there was like a libel suit because, he was acting like a baby, and I kind of like, okay. He was just trying to insert himself into a very public, even global at that point event and make himself look good. But then when he didn't, I don't know.
I think you have the right to do that if you're doing it with tact and some semblance of brilliance,
right.
But it seems to be getting sloppier.
Yeah, he's not,
How long have we been going, by the way? You want to take a guess?
I don't know. It's 6:55, but my phone keeps buzzing, so I'm like, what's going on? I'm getting all these texts.
I didn't set the hour, actually, so I have to check.
Oh, you
got to
check? Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
No, take a guess. How long do you think it's been? How long has it felt?
55 minutes.
You think we're that deep?
Yeah, 55
I think we're 42. I'm going to check right
42?
now. Yeah.
It's going to be right between there. 47, 49, 49 and a half.
We'll see. In terms of Elon, what's something you do like about him? Because I don't want to just like shit talk him, whatever. But what's something you do like about him?
Dude, no, fuck that, dude. That guy gets so much good publicity and so many people tooting his horn. There's no reason why we shouldn't shit on Elon Musk a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, same thing for Tom Brady. Not to bring Tom Brady and disparage him, but like, everyone loves Tom Brady. I could shit on Tom Brady every once in a while. He can take it. For the longest time, it's like, he doesn't need me to be a fan.
Oh, this is maybe
a million fans.
Tying the Will Ferrell thing together.
Oh, yeah. Will Ferrell has enough fans. He doesn't need me to be his fan. He has got enough people that like him. I don't think he's funny. Talladega Nights is overrated, right? No.
Well, trolling in general has become kind of a thing.
An art form. Yes.
It has become an identity, an art form.
We literally had a troll president.
Yeah.
Let's real talk. He ascended the presidency on trolling people.
Yeah.
And he effectively trolled over half the country to the point where he inspired that many people to vote against him and for him, right?
And Elon's stocks quote, that's like trollish.
Fuck yeah, dude.
In a
He
way.
loves, and I think he loves, again, with a smart guy, they love secret information. They love knowing more than you know, regulars, the rubes, right? So when he says something like super stonks and like that, it's like a secret language that he's only talking to. It's the same thing for the red pill. You know, that's the language, and you speak the language, and it's like, oh, he relates to me because he speaks the red pill language. You know, it's
that shit's so fucking cheap though.
It is.
And I you know, obviously.
Well, it's
young
not
people
made
have
for
every
intelligent
right,
people.
Young people have every right to be excited when it feels like someone's speaking your language. You know, when it feels like you're seen and it feels like you're respected.
Authentically
And with humor. I don't want everything to be crusty and like super uptight, whatever. I swear, and I want things to be with, you know, interwoven with some sort of satire, because a lot of times
levity is important.
I think it can kind of get deeper. It can help you get deeper on some things.
Well, levity allows you to laugh, which allows you to go deeper, right? Because it's not so serious. When you can laugh at something, it's like, okay, this is okay. I can tolerate this. Let's go deeper with it. You know, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways.
We did fly, by the way. We're 63 minutes in, 65 minutes.
So we were both off.
So
we're cruising.
We're done.
We're done.
The podcast
We're done.
is over. Yeah.
Okay, we're done. No,
I
I'm
swear,
kidding.
you did check your phone. You knew on some level the hour was up.
I did. No, I did. I felt
Didn't
it a
you?
while ago, but I was like, I don't know. I felt like we've been going for an hour. I did say 55 minutes, you know. I felt like we were going. But I wasn't checking my phone for that. It just keeps buzzing, so I don't know if somebody's calling me and if there was an emergency that I was not paying attention to. If I saw like 3 missed calls, then I was going to be like, okay, but somebody's obviously just texting me a bunch.
It's like an area code
Sorry.
from Austin, Texas. It's one of Elon's people
They're monitoring us.
trying to shut us down.
You can't talk about me like I can't do an I don't even know what it fucking sounds like. You know what? I do, like I said, one thing I do appreciate about it is his space exploration.
Absolutely.
And that stuff.
Yeah, let's end on a positive note. Space exploration.
Space, even though it's Earth Day, we'll talk about space to end it off. The idea of reusable rockets, you know, that's super cool.
Huge.
You know, I think if we are able to go into space and harvest some of those cool space resources, it would make life on this planet much more livable and less chaotic and scary. And there's not so many resource wars.
What more could you ask for on Earth Day?
Yeah, right? Let's stop pillaging Earth.
Elon can go get some unobtainium for us.
Unobtainium. Ah!
You know, I had to bring it to James Cameron.
Yeah,
Ocean
totally.
floor type thing.
Yeah.
But some of Elon, I do think it probably does take audacious and big theatric action to move humanity forward. You know, Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla was, they both were kind of competing for public attention because there was only so many resources to go behind AC or DC current.
Yeah.
And you do have to stand strong behind what you believe in.
And like, who the fuck am I, right? He's got $1 billion company. He is wildly successful. He's probably doing the right thing, right? He knows what he's doing, you know?
He's doing a lot of the right things, but when you become at a certain level, we're talking Elon, we're talking Will Ferrell here. There's a certain weight that comes with that.
Oh, for sure, dude, for sure.
And it does bother me when people take that weight on and then let that crush them, and then they're not who they used to be. So I don't want it to kill people.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
I also want some people to take that seriously. I do. I think it does matter. And
okay, I won't ask any more questions. I can keep going on to Elon.
No, we can go a couple more. I think the cameras have 5 hours on them. So
what would be the like a crowning achievement for Elon? What would be the to solidify him as like a good human, and like what could he do? You know, not Starlink, because I think that's fucked.
I think Starlink is kind of weird.
That's the kind of That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like he's
ruining space.
He's just
you can't
deciding,
even see space
right.
anymore.
He's just deciding unilaterally that he's going to do this thing, right?
Starlink is the satellites he's sending up for internet connectivity around the world.
Right. So it's going to be like this giant ring around the planet, basically. And he's doing this without any sort of like nation state backing and blah 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 blah. And he's just doing this thing, you know. And it's like, I don't know.
I think he will.
I want oversight. I want oversight of a one man. I want oversight.
I think he'll go down in history as the person who single-handedly moved us from gasoline engines to electric. We didn't get too deep into this, but like electric vehicles are still extremely impractical.
Yeah.
In at least looking at their expense. I've been like looking for cars for a long time now. I've been trying to replace my 2004 Chevy Tracker, and with extensive market research on hybrids, electric, normal cars, it's not affordable. Yeah. It's so fucking expensive to still get an electric car, and hopefully that's changing, whatever, but it's still totally marketing, and it's like a rich person's game, whatever.
It is.
One thing he can do, I mean, that's big. But colonizing Mars, I think
Yeah.
now with his current talk, I think that's going to be it. I mean, shit, planting a flag in another planet. I mean, that's going to be even bigger than the...
Okay, but I was talking about this specific thing earlier. That planet, if it's controlled by Elon Musk, well, then who controls it? It's not going to be... It's going to be corporate Mars, right?
I know, but let's be honest. Billionaires, they control the fucking world anyway.
Right, but that's...
Happy Earth Day.
Yeah.
They control the planet anyway.
They just control the planet. Happy Earth Day.
They use nation states at their will.
But this is a whole new ball game.
What's
We're
different?
just going to give them a planet?
Dude, it's even, to me, it's an even harder ball game for them because it's going to take serious governmental and nation support for the resources to be allocated up there.
It's very similar to when the colonies happened and needing like the East India Trading Company, and you're going to need companies to help fuel the transition and everything. But ultimately, who is going to be responsible for the governing and the living of people on this potential colony, if not the Tesla Corporation, right?
Once the IRS sees that they start bringing taxpayers up there,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
then it's going to be a problem.
Right. I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting. Just the corporatization of Mars. It's not going to be like the colony of Mars. It's going to be like Tesla Corp. You know, like
How about the corporatization, anyway, of the world, right?
no. Yeah, but I'm
Elon,
just-
a lot of Elon's major things with Tesla, it has to do with China, setting up his factory in China, and now he's petitioning hard to get a factory in Germany.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know. Hope it wasn't too hard on you, Elon. I think you're going to be okay either way.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't need us. You don't. He doesn't need us. You don't need my opinion. It doesn't matter. My opinion, whatever.
If Grimes shows you, you got to be all right.
I guess I don't even
Grimes'
fucking know
husband?
Grimes.
Grimes'
And you name
husband?
your kid some fucking dumb. You're just trying so hard, Elon. You're just trying so hard.
Naming his kid all that wacky shit.
He's trying so hard.
Celebrities have always done that. I don't know. I can't say that's totally a
But
marketing
it's like
thing,
he's taking it again. He's taking it to this trollish level to where you can't even pronounce the kid's name. It's not like
Yeah,
Zappa where he
yeah.
did Moon Unit. He's like, this is like an algebraic symbol, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pronounced. It's
pretty
not.
rough.
But like, I don't know.
Do you like him on podcast, by the way?
Who? Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Nah.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't.
No.
But he is way too slow,
Yeah.
and
He's probably trying to control everything, and he can't.
it's bullshit. I do think he's trying to give the impression that I'm doing computations, right? You know, it's really funny because I think he tries to use his personality. I think he tries, I don't want to say weaponize it, but he tries to leverage it.
Oh, yeah.
Tries to leverage quietness and or spaces between the way he talks to make it seem like he's got more going on upstairs. But I listened to the whole first Rogan episode.
yeah.
I think I quit on the second one. I was just like, this sucks.
Yeah. I don't remember him particularly saying anything super interesting where I was like hanging on every word, you know?
The Neuralinks
Interesting.
info is interesting, but in terms of him being a direct entertainer, your job, like you were saying, the thing you're good at, he doesn't have that. Right?
Yeah, don't stroke me too
Can't
much.
have it all.
James. Yeah, can't have it all. Hey, I got one up on you, Elon. I got one up on you.
One up on Elon. Matt, thank you for coming over.
Happy to be here on this lovely Earth Day.
Yeah, we'll be doing this again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have categories for you next time.
Okay. Do you want to give me one more before we quit?
Elmer Fudd.
Money.
Okay.
Money. He's Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah, he is. Looney Tunes, bro. He's a Looney Tunes.
All right. Bye, everyone.